Hey, in today's video we'll be talking about garden hydrangeas. For the beginners, I have to mention that there's different types of hydrangeas, but in today's video we'll be talking about garden hydrangeas. The good news is that it's very easy to recognize which hydrangeas you've got in your garden. In March, if you buy any plants, obviously you're gonna get smaller plants but for half price, because they're gonna sell the same plants in June. They just have to keep them for longer, but we're gonna sell them for double price in June. So always, any plants you want to buy them early in March for half price. They're gonna be smaller, but they will have enough time to adopt and grow in beautiful plant, established plant in your garden by June. So do yourself a favor, buy any plants you're planning to have in your garden, especially spring one. The question is how to cook them and when. I would like to highlight the fact in here that different types of hydrangeas we're gonna have to cut different way. So this is very important. In today's video we are talking about garden hydrangeas. And the answer is simple. It will be April. The beginning of April, around 8th of April, would be perfect time to cut your hydrangeas. And I'll tell you why. In April is the best time to cut your hydrangeas, and the reason behind it is because of frost. The frost last year, from experience I can tell you that in the UK, for example, we had a snow and a frost in March. Yes, so if you do it, let's say beginning of March, and you've got a frost in the middle of March, which is likely to happen even in the UK, yes, I know, shocking, and then of course you will have to, some of them, at least some of those branches will be destroyed by the frost and has to be cut out completely. So you don't want to leave any branches like that, because they are empty inside and they won't flower, they won't give you any leaves, they're completely dead. So those needs to be removed. So let's say if you decided you couldn't wait and you wanted to cut your hydrangeas in March, then you had a frost, then you have to cut it again, check again and cut out what's needed, because you can't leave it there. You want to get your hydrangeas as clean as possible, so you're gonna get rid of all the dead, disease branches, all the one which has been destroyed by the frost, and of course you want to get rid of the flower on the top, which is dry flower from last year. So those, you don't want to be repeating the same process. You want to do it once but properly at the right time, which is April for hydrangeas garden one. So it doesn't matter where you live. You can live in UK, you live in Poland, let's say, but in April time is safest time to be cutting your hydrangeas, for a simple reason that the risk of frost is nearly, zero. So it's very unlikely you will get a frost, and that's why it's safe to cut your hydrangeas at that time. I wouldn't recommend it to do it earlier. Also, it is the best time to cut the hydrangeas. Time you can clearly see which stems are coming back to life, which stems has been damaged by frost, and which has to be cut out all the way to the ground, and which stems are healthy and gonna produce leaves and beautiful flowers later on. So it's really easy to prune your hydrangeas in April. And I wouldn't say the same around March time. It's small difference of time frame, but it's massive difference in terms of seeing what has to be cut out, what has been damaged by frost. As I said, if you're trying to start and prune your hydrangeas too early, it's not great. You have to have patience with this type of flowers and wait till April. It's definitely the best time to prune. Why April is the best time to prune your hydrangeas? It's mainly because after winter your hydrangeas is slowly getting back to life, and if you prune them too early, it's not too obvious, especially with garden hydrangeas. It's not too obvious which branches are dead, which one obviously has been damaged by frost. So if we wait a little bit longer till April instead of doing it in March, we can clearly see, and our job is much easier. You can then clearly recognize what has been affected by frost, what needs to be completely cut out, what has to be just cut slightly, and what we can leave. Because as I mentioned many times, your hydrangeas are just slowly getting back to life, and you can see that nice green sign of the plant getting back to life again. So you will clearly see what to cut, what to leave. So April is definitely the best time to prune your hydrangeas, and definitely is a time frame for pruning your hydrangeas agreed by all the garden specialists. There is, however, a lot of discussion going on about the pruning the dry flower, last year flower. So there's lots of back and forth discussion on this subject, because lots of people in here don't agree on it. Many things that we can get rid of dry flower straight away in, let's say, September time, as it doesn't do us any favors, and it's not like it's gonna go back to life. So most of the people saying that they would go for cutting, getting rid of the flower head as early as September. What do I think about this? I mean, there are some reasons which support this theory. One of them is that the flower is quite heavy and it might just add the weight to the plant. So why would we, especially that on the same stems where the flower is, the dead flower, the same stem will basically give us new buds, new leaves, new flowers. So we don't want to make it heavy for a plant, because plant will put the energy into flower, which is dead anyway, so we might as well just get rid of it. So I guess there is some sense in this theory, and we could probably get rid of it as early as autumn, and then wait for pruning the rest of it in April. Of course, there are some theories for getting rid of the actual dried flower only in March time. Again, why are we doing this? Because we know for sure that we're gonna get rid of the flower. The flower head doesn't do any favors to the plant or doesn't damaging the plant, but some believes that actually the flower head might protect the plant from the frost. It is, to be honest, it is quite large flowers, especially garden hydrangeas got quite large flower head, so some believes that it actually gives some protection to the plant, so they can keep it all the way to March and then just get rid of the flower head, and then in April we're gonna prune the rest. We're gonna prune the rest of the hydrangeas. Please remember that hydrangeas, especially garden ones, they will be giving us flowers on last year stems. So, and we're gonna wake up very slowly, so the best time will be April, and probably is the best to wait till, and to be less damage than be in a hurry and actually do something you shouldn't. So that's my definitely recommendation, to wait and do it at the right time, or if you're not sure, again, wait, rather than do some damage to your plant. If you ask me, I definitely support the theory of getting rid of dried flower head as early as autumn. Why? Because naturally any plant will support the flower, but naturally that's what the plant is for, to produce a flower. So the plant, any plant, will put lots of energy, store the energy, and invest it all in a flower. If you do have a flower, obviously a big flower head as well, like hydrangeas has, it's obviously waiting on that stem, and this stem, unfortunately with the hydrangeas, garden hydrangeas, this stem will be producing a new leaves and new flowers. So to make sure this will happen and actually encouraging it to flower better, we can get rid of a dead flower head which only waiting on that plant. So it would make sense to get rid of it as early as autumn, in my opinion. In my garden, I will show you in a minute, but I have 3 hydrangeas. I have put them all in last summer, so they flowered for 1 summer, and now they're all brown and they need pruning. So what I'm gonna do a little experiment. This is 3 different plants of hydrangeas, all the same color, all the same size. They have been put in the same time of the year, so there's no difference whatsoever. So they will be the best to compare them. So what I'm gonna do, one of them I'm gonna prune only the flower head. In March, so we're gonna prune it now. I will show you. We're just gonna basically cut the flower head off, and the rest in April. The other plant, I will cut everything, so flower head and whole hydrangeas, in April only. And then in June we should see results and we can compare them both if there is any difference whatsoever. If there is, great. If not, then great as well, because we'll find out which way was the best way, and you can find out with me. So please make sure you subscribe to my channel, and we're gonna compare those results in June. So I'm gonna prune one, as I said, just the flower head. I will cut it off in March. The other one, I will prune whole hydrangeas in April. Also, next autumn, what I'm gonna do, I've got the third one. So on the third one, I'm gonna cut the flower head, get rid of it in autumn. And then we can compare 3 of them and make our own conclusions when is the best time to get rid of the flower head. Because as we all know, April is the best time to prune your hydrangeas, but there's a question mark on a flower head. So we're gonna find out for ourselves. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. In the next video, I will show you how to prune them, how to prune hydrangeas properly. Step by step, there are a few tips I want to share with you guys and what things to look for. So I will see you in my next video.